Hi there and welcome to Thursdays with Annette. It's that time again and I'm going to get cooking for you a great recipe. It's in book 6 but also in the Cooking for 1 or 2. So let me show you. There's the Cooking for 1 or 2 and it's in here, serves 2. It's also in book 6 and it serves 6. So you can choose whether you want book 6 or the Cooking for 2 this week when I do the big prize thing. Now I'm going to make it out of the 1 or 2 because I think it's just a great one to make. I know Bill and I often would love to make it, but for 6 it's a lot when there's just the 2 of us. So let's make that one today. But before we get into it, let's talk about last week's show, which was the fabulous macaroni cheese and the stinky bread. Now we have 3 very excited winners, and that's Marie Hutchinson, Jade Ash, and Jenny Hunter. They've all got a personally signed copy of book 2 on the way. Now, spaghetti and meatballs. Who doesn't love a good feed of that? I mean, we can't go to Italy, but we can in my kitchen. So what do we need to make this recipe? So let's look at the meatballs first, okay? So I'll do the meatballs and then the sauce. So in the meatballs, you need 3 tablespoons of skim milk and 3 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. You're also going to use 1/4 teaspoon of oregano and 1/4 teaspoon of basil, plus some crushed garlic and 200 grams of very lean beef mince. So that's to make the meatballs. Then we're going to make the sauce, and it's really easy to do it. So don't worry, you'll be able to enjoy doing this because it's so easy. You want onion, capsicum, zucchini, tomato. You want some stock powder, some tomato paste, and I'm using the passata. And in the book it says tomato puree, but that's exactly what that is now. They've given it a better name and it's called passata. Okay, so there's that. We need some spaghetti. Hello, spaghetti and meatballs. So we've got the spaghetti here and it's 100 grams. This is for the Cooking for 1 or 2, remember. So if you want a more serves, go to book 6. And you need 100 grams of the raw pasta. Then cook it up as it says on the instructions on the packet, and then divide that into 2 because you're making serves 2. And then we've got some parmesan, Kraft parmesan to go on it as well, and a little bit of water. All right, so let me move this over here because what I want to do is I want to do the chopping first. Okay, so first of all, we're going to do the capsicum, and we need 1/3 cup of capsicum. Let me get my little measure cup here. Thanks for joining me today. It's just a delight to cook for you here every Thursday. And I'm just going to dice up the capsicum. You could do any colour you like. We had green in the fridge, so that's what I'm using. And because it's only for 2, you'll be surprised how quick it is to make it because you don't need a lot of ingredients. So see, I've chopped up too many. And what I do is I put it back in the capsicum and we use it later. All right, so we've got 1/3 cup of capsicum. Then we want tomatoes. And we want 1/2 cup. And this is fresh tomatoes, and we're going to dice them. So just remember it's fresh tomatoes, not canned. And we want 1/2 cup. This looks pretty good. There we go, 1/2 cup. We also need, and I'll put that in, where will I put this one? I'll just leave that there because I'm going to then do the zucchini, and we're going to grate the zucchini. Where's my grater? And for the zucchini, we want 1/3 cup grated. So it's got lots of fabulous fresh ingredients in it. All right. Now you'll add the zucchini in with the tomatoes, and we need 1/3 cup. And I always press the zucchini down to make sure I get the right amount. Fantastic. Let me put that over here. All right, so there is that. So I'm going to put it in with the tomato because they go in together. Move that over there. And let's just put this in my soapy sink, because now what I've got to do is the onion, and we want 1/4 cup finely diced. All right, so let's get the dicing of the onion all organised. I'm sure by now you know my technique for dicing an onion. You don't want big chunks in the sauce, so it's always good to do small dice for this particular recipe. This is a great one because it freezes really well. So if you did want to make the big batch, you would find it easy to freeze it, to have it another time as well. All right, there's the onion done. Looking fantastic. So let's move this over here. Put the onion over there. And now what we're going to do is make the meatballs. So what you start with is the 3 tablespoons of breadcrumbs and 3 tablespoons of skim milk. And I'm just going to pour that in there. Just get a little spoon and I mix them together. And this will help bind the meatballs. It also makes them go a bit further too by adding the breadcrumbs in. There, that looks great. All right, so let's use the bowl here I've got, and I'm going to put the mince in. So that was 200 grams. There we go. We're going to put in the breadcrumb mix. And then we're going to put, we love, flavour is really important for me, because, I mean, a lot of times people think when you do low-fat cooking that it's quite bland in flavour. Well, my mission is for you to go, this is the best spaghetti and meatballs I've ever had. All right, so let's do 1/4 teaspoon. Let's go right down. It's not a lot. And that's the basil. Oh, no, it's oregano. And then the basil. And we're going to use the basil again in the sauce. So I'm going to just leave that here. And I'm going to move that over to the side so I don't confuse myself. We also want 1/2 teaspoon of garlic. And I'll be using that again as well in the sauce. Okay. So let's get in and give it a mush. A squish or a squish, whatever you want to call it. So you're mixing them all together. And then we're going to divide this mix, once I've given it a good mix up, into 12 meatballs. And that way we get 6 each when you divide it by 2. That's correct. Now how you work out to get the right amount of the balls, that's looking pretty fabulous, is I'm going to use the scales. I just find it so much easier. And I'm just going to put some cling wrap on the top just to make it easier. And let me get a spoon. And I'm now going to weigh out the mince. Okay, so that's 256 grams. So that would work out to be 120, what is it, Bill? 20, what is it? 21. Oh, you've got, oh yes, I'm sorry, you're dividing it by 12 because I'm thinking divided by 2. So how much is it, sorry? 21 grams. Okay, so what we do is, let's do this again. I'll show you a quick way to keep it nice and sticky on your thing. Just put a little bit of water on. And then what happens is your cling wrap will stick. So it's not moving all over the place. And we want 21 grams. So I'll bring that to 0. That's 22. So I'll just take a tiny little bit off. That's it. And we want 12, remember. So let me move this so I can get my 12. And we're going to cook it in the sauce. So the flavour of the sauce is just jam-packed. It's fantastic. And what I'll do is once I've done the balls, then I'll start making the sauce. So we want 12 all up. I mean, you could guesstimate it, but then I'd be worried that I'd get less balls. And I like having 6 with the sauce. It's really a nice amount. There we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh gosh, I hope everyone's doing really well. We're so excited here at Simply Too Good because I have finished the recipes for the new book, the new More Cooking for One or Two, and taken the photos. So it's now at the graphic artist. My little baby is starting to take shape. It's very, very exciting for us here. And on top of all of that, you know, if I didn't want to be more busy, we're also launching a new 6-week, on the mentoring program, a 6-week challenge. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute because that's going to be just fabulous. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. We need 2 more. And we are done. Oh, look, I found a little bit of meat here. Let's give that one a little bit of extra. Okay, so let's take it over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll them into balls and just leave them there to add once I've got all the sauce ready. All right, so we've got all the sauce stuff ready. It's just a matter of putting it in and cooking it. And once your meatballs are rolled and ready to go, we can complete the recipe. Now, as I said, you can make it for 6. And really, this type of dish is fantastic because we're using such lean mince. It's only 7 grams of fat a serve, which is pretty spectacular. Yeah. All right, here we go. Balls are looking fabulous. And now what I'm going to do is just put them to the side. And I'm just going to wash my hands. Let's turn on the cooktop. Let's get fired up. Just let me wash my hands. Perfect. I hope everyone's doing well. I know New South Wales is a bit excited because they're coming into some less restrictions, which is fantastic. It's just been hard for a lot of you, especially I sympathise with everybody in Melbourne as well. It's not easy. All right, so hopefully you're eating well, and it's important to look after yourselves. So we're going to cook the onion and the capsicum and the garlic. As I said, we're going to use some more. So it's 3/4 teaspoon because it's Italian. You can never have too much garlic, people. That's for sure. Now, there is no variation with this, but I don't see why you can't replace the mince with either chicken or turkey mince or pork mince if you really wanted to just have a different taste to it, because it really is such a great recipe. I think your family's going to request it quite a lot. So we're just going to cook that off. Let me tidy up here. And we've got these lovely recipes. Remember, you've boiled your pasta, I hope. That's what we want. Fantastic. Now we're going to add in the tomato and the zucchini, which we've already prepped up. And that's why I like to do things ahead, because then it's just a matter of bunging it all together, and that's what I really like. So just going to cook that for a sec, and then we're going to add in all the other ingredients. That's how easy this recipe is. We've got 1/2 teaspoon of stock powder. I'm using beef. We've got more basil, and so, gosh, how much was the basil? Let me think. 1/2 teaspoon. That's correct, I remember now. In that goes. You want a cup of the passata or tomato puree. That's it. In it goes. See how easy it is? And it's just banging with flavour. And I just think for 2 people, this is such an excellent dinner because you've got lots of veggies actually in the sauce, which I think makes it work beautiful. 1/3 cup of water. I'm going to put in a little bit of pepper. It's always good to have a bit of pepper in there. And 2 teaspoons of tomato paste. And I always use the no added salt, remember? There we go. Look at that. Now that's everything in. So what we do now is we get that to boil, like it's doing. Can you see? It's boiling away here. And this is where we add the meatballs in, so that they cook in the beautiful flavours that we've created in the sauce. So I'm just going to pop them in. Keep that sauce boiling. Yum. How delicious. And now just move it around a bit. We don't want to break the balls up. I'm going to turn the element down a little bit so it doesn't overboil. And then what you'll do is just every now and then you'll come along with your tongs and just gently turn the balls over, keeping it at a slow boil. Just be careful when you're doing the balls because you don't want to break them up. Just keep that on a slow boil. And then we're going to leave that for 10 minutes. And that will mean the meatballs are cooked. And then all we have to do is add that to our cooked pasta. So I'm going to be back in a minute because we're going to go forward 10 minutes. See you soon. Well, welcome back. Oh my gosh, I love this new format where I'm able to come back like this. I mean, it opens up a world of recipes in my cookbooks to be able to do them for you now. So I'm excited with this. Now, we've got the meatball mix ready. I'm going to turn it off. Now, it's really, as I said, 10 minutes is all you need. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my 6 meatballs and put them on the spaghetti, which you would have cooked as well. 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my meatballs. Oh, sorry. And I'm going to now spoon over the mix. So we want half, remember, for this recipe is just for 2. And you've got this beautiful sauce to go with it and slurp it all around with your pasta. I mean, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? It's fantastic. So move it around so you can see those gorgeous meatballs. And what we do next is, let me just move this away. So each person will get a teaspoon of Parmesan on top. Now you could always do a teaspoon of fresh if you wish, but I'm just going to use the Kraft one. I think it's just as good. It's fabulous. And I'm going to spread that over my serve. And boom, another fantastic recipe. As I said, it's in book 6, serve 6, or in the Cooking for 2, serves 2. So up to you with what you want to do. And remember, it's only 7 grams of fat a serve. So how fantastic is that? Now, if you'd like to win a copy, you can choose. It's up to you this week. We've got the 2 books here. So you can choose, do you want the Cooking for 2 or would you like the book 6? You can choose what you like. All you have to do is like, share, and in the comments, you know what you got to do is hashtag Symply with a Y, too good. Write that in the comments, apart from any other comments. I love reading what you say. Simply too good, and hashtag, of course, and I'll pick 3 lucky winners. Now, as I said, we've got the mentoring program starting on the 18th of October. It's going to be fantastic. It's a 6 weeks challenge. And if you're interested in, some fabulous meals, some support and care, and really great motivation and tips to keep you on that weight loss journey, then check it all out. Go to simplytoogood.com.au/membership. And you know what? This sort of dinners are on the menu plan. And as I said, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? Now, next week, I'm making a great recipe. Look, I can never have enough of it. I mean, it's been in book 2, so it's an oldie but a goodie. And I'm going to be doing the chicken cashew stir fry. It is fabulous, and it's out of book 2. So join me next week for that fantastic recipe. And remember, if you want any more tips or recipes, or you want some more information about the new mentoring program starting very soon, go to simplytoogood.com.au. And remember, hashtag simplytoogood, and you could win a cookbook. See you next time. Bye now.